Welcome to Apple Cottage. This is Sandy and I am Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming. Well, it's part 3 of making a garden room. So I'm sitting on my bags of outdoor soil, raised bed soil, and compost. I've already filled in all of the holes that when I took perennials out. And our first thing we're going to do is put compost around the trees. I like getting my supplies all ready, so it's easy to get to, and I can just complete my job, I guess, faster, easier, without less stress. This is one of the apple trees, and you can see there's some strawberries around it. I am going to take the strawberries out and replace them when we're all the way finished, but I just wanted you to see when the soil is not as fertile and has really the soil isn't as strong as it should be. This is the growth rate of the strawberries. I'm going to insert some strawberries I planted the same day, but back in my backyard in the gardens, so that you can just see what fertile soil can do for your plants. I put compost all the way around, even though we're still going to put layers of cardboard and then more soil. The graft is really up high on this one, so it'll be totally fine, because even when we put the cardboard and more soil, the graft will still be above. This is where I'm starting first. We're against the fence, we're right in the corner, so within our room, we're breaking it down into sections. I have cardboard, I have my newspaper that I'm going to soak, I have a big bucket so I can just dip it in there and get it all wet. I have tulip bulbs, but I'm first going to lay down my secret weapon. I know this will sound crazy, it'll sound insane. Why would you do it? The reason I'm doing it is because I want to attract microbes and bacteria and worms, because right now this soil has just been so bad, and honestly it's my fault. I've neglected it. I have added so much stuff to all the other parts of my yard, and this little corner I have just left and just hoped that it would do well. And it really reminded me when I started to dig things up just how different this soil was than what it is in the backyard. And I thought, this is how our soil was when we first started. Not really dark, it was kind of gray, it didn't have any worms. So we're changing all that. Now, what's my secret weapon? I know when I show it to you, you're going to think I'm totally crazy. My secret weapon is sauerkraut. I grew all these carrots, I grew all these, all the cabbage, everything that's in there. I always put apples in there too. But because it's fermented, and it's been fermenting for a long time, it's been in my basement refrigerator for a very long time, I'm just going to sprinkle it on the soil. Then I'm going to do a layer of wet newspaper. Then I'm going to lay my bulbs down, another layer of wet newspaper, then the cardboard. And not until after that stuff is done will I put the soil on top. But I want to attract all those great things that will live in the soil. This has been in my refrigerator for literally basically a year. And it still smells perfect. I love fermentation. So anyway, I'm just going to grab some, and I'm not putting a huge amount. I just want the microbes and stuff to have something to really eat and be attracted and say, hey, this is my new home and I want to stay here. See, it's not a lot. I'm just throwing a little bit around. We're going to lay the newspaper down. It's soaked, and I'm just laying it completely, and I'll overlap them a little bit so that I can get the whole area covered. The newspaper is all down in that area. So now it's just time to throw the bulbs out there. I don't want to just make it, I want it ununiform. That's what I want. And so I'm just throwing them out there, and now I'm going to lay another layer of newspaper on top. The second layer of newspaper is on, and newspaper ink is made from a vegetable byproduct. It's not the way it used to be before, so it doesn't hurt the soil at all. So our next step is cutting the cardboard to fit. And I have this handy dandy tool. It's from Skill. It's called an Auto Sharp. I use it all the time in the wintertime. And you just press it and it'll cut. So I can make it into the exact shape that I want it to be. The cardboard is all laid out, and I have a couple of the bags of soil I'm going to use. One is an outdoor planting mix and the other one is a raised bed garden mix. I like the raised garden mix because of the horticulture grit it has in there, and this one, the outdoor planting, has pumice in it. And so I'm going to mix those together. I am going to soak the cardboard before I put that on there, and I'll show you what it looks like when we get the soil on there. The soil is on, and as you can see at this very edge, I didn't have the soil complete because we're going to overlap the cardboards in the newspapers. But section 1 of our garden room is done. Well, part 3 is done for the day. Joe's watering for me. We got our borders around some of our apple trees. I sprinkled some good nutrients into the grass so that would green up. And we got all the cardboard, paper, bulbs, and the edging all along this spot. So we're real happy for part 3 of making a garden room. I would have planted tomorrow, Sunday, which you would see on Monday, but it's going to be 97 degrees and that is just too hot to transplant plants. So that I will do on Monday. As always, like, subscribe, share with the world. Say hi to Joe, and we'll see you next time.